everybody. I'm Cindy Benson with the Grace and Strength Lifestyle, and I wanted to introduce you today to Miss Millicent, Coach Millicent from Maryland. She is joining us live today. Millicent first came to us about almost a year and a half ago as a client, and went through her journey and so on. I'm not going to tell you anything really much more than that because I want her to share her story. But obviously is now a coach with us. So welcome, Millicent.
Hi.
So good to have you. Now, Millicent, of course, I know, how great you are and how awesome you are. But I want you to tell everybody who's listening just a little bit about yourself to start.
Okay, well, I live in Maryland. I am from Mississippi, so I can't really hide the accent, I don't think. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I am homeschooled. I have three kids. I have an almost 12-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 4-year-old. And then I have a really awesome husband who works really hard and takes good care of us. And we've been homeschooling and staying home for 12. Well, I've stayed home for 12 years. We've been homeschooling for 7. So
That's awesome. And I just give you guys credit because I don't know about that.
yeah, it's not easy. It's not.
But it's rewarding. I'm sure it's rewarding for you. And then also, they probably love it too.
Yeah, it's rewarding, but it's also one of those things we just knew that's what we were supposed to do. Lots of
Yeah.
prayer and lots of contemplating our options, and we just knew. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, Millicent, I know you have like an awesome story to tell, but I thought we could start with you sharing like who you were and kind of what were some of your struggles before, like from your previous lifestyle, before you started. Because I think there's a lot of women out there who sometimes they feel like, if they're contacting us or whatever, or just for themselves to get, a new program for them, it's like, well, these ladies don't look at them. Their life isn't like this. They probably never went through anything I did, and I think that each and every one of us have our own story and our own struggles of what life was before we became healthy and changed. So if you will, just share a little bit about who you were then and the struggles that you faced.
Well, I was always thin growing up. I never had a problem with weight. I could eat whatever I wanted to and had no problem. Then I got married. We moved 16 hours away from home. I was pregnant. Had a very hard time being away from family, lots of life changes. And so food became a comfort for me. I was not active like I had always been growing up. I was just really struggling a lot, and food was there. And my weight was not too bad. And then after a few years, with the eating continuing, and 2 more children, it was out of control. I ate a lot all the time. It was just such a comfort. I started seeing my health go bad. Not only did I have no energy to do anything, I just was tired all the time. I blamed it on the fact that I have sleep apnea, which was not weight related. I've had that my whole life. But I was always so tired and sluggish, and my blood pressure started just getting really bad. And I had to go on meds for that. And it was just a struggle for me. It was a struggle. I had battled postpartum depression after my oldest. And so that didn't help with,
Right.
the emotional eating. And so it was very hard. I got to the point to where I looked in the mirror one day and had no idea who I was. I was not who I used to be. And it was starting to, come into just my family's, their everyday life. It was starting to affect them. And so that's where I was at.
What made you reach out to Grace and Strength like the very, very first time? I mean, how did you find us in?
Yeah, I'll go back and say a little bit. I had been I knew I was overweight, but I don't think I really realized how bad I had gotten. My health, yeah, was getting bad, but I still denied it, that I was had a problem, I guess. And so what happened in the fall of 2011, I that's when I had to go on medication for blood pressure, and that November I had to buy the biggest size jeans I've ever bought, and it made me just it was very hard when that happened. And my mom had been encouraging me for quite a while to do something to get control of my weight, and I had tried other programs and I just couldn't do it. I would last 2 weeks and I would be done. And so I had been reading a blog for quite a few years, and the girl who blogged had been on the program and had been blogging about her success. And I just was blown away because the results were amazing. And and so when she announced that she was going to start coaching and starting her first group, I talked with my husband, we prayed about it, and I just knew I had to do something. And it just came at the time when I was at my lowest.
Right. So
And and that's when I decided
awesome. It's God's perfect timing for you. He knew right where you were at when you were there.
I was ready. I was
Yeah.
ready.
And as we know, you have to be ready because it's not easy. Not
Mhm.
easy. Um, I want to ask you about your why, but I'm going to explain to our listeners because they're probably like, what are you talking about? But when you join Grace and Strength and, once you registered and so on, we send you, your documents and your protocols and your guidelines and so on. And then one of those things we call your why. And what that is really why you're doing this. And, we're not about numbers on a scale. We're not about a certain size. I mean, it's all about getting free and free from strongholds and bondages and things that Millicent was talking about, emotional eating and missing her family and so on. So how do we deal with that without going to food? And your why for change to get healthy needs to be strong because we're always going to have temptation. We're going to have those comfort foods in front of us. We're going to still have emotional things and stress things even when they're good because most of us eat when we're not hungry or mad, sad, glad. I mean, just kind of almost anything. Let's celebrate with it. So what's going to hold us committed to our goals, and that's our why. It has to stop temptation in its tracks, so it needs to be strong. I know myself when I'm coaching women, many times I've made them do their why over again because I knew it wasn't going to be strong enough. It wasn't going to hold water when, temptation really came in. And sometimes your why does change throughout your journey too. Um, so on that, Melissa, what was your why?
I guess I had a few different things that came into play with that. Like I had said earlier, the fact that I just looked in the mirror and didn't even recognize who I was. And, of course, my health. And I wanted to be able to keep up with my kids. My kids, I noticed, I just wasn't doing things with them. We used to go on hikes all the time. We used to, play in the yard and just do fun stuff like that. And I just didn't want to do that anymore. And it was because I just didn't have the energy and I just didn't feel like doing it. And so I wanted to be able to be more active with my kids and give them some good memories of us doing things together, outdoors things, because we love to be outdoors. And there, and for my health, like I said, but also there was what really pushed me, I think, and got me really thinking. And one of my biggest motivators was for my husband, because we had gone to a picnic, a company picnic, a few months before I started, and I was embarrassed for him to be by his side because that's not who he married. And I know he loved me. He loves me regardless, but I felt so embarrassed for him, that I was so much bigger than when we had gotten married. And yeah, I know that's kind of it seems superficial, but I wanted
No.
him to be happy and proud of to have me by his side. And so that was one of my biggest motivators. And he was such a support through the whole thing. And he cheered me on, and I think that really played a big part, just because part of the reason I was doing this was for him as well. So,
Right. No, that's special. It is. I mean, Even, I mean, it's in the Bible, even with our bodies, that, we honor God first and then our spouse and then ourselves. So, and you're right. When I was at my highest too, my husband, there was no difference. You would have never known. But in my heart, it was different because the same thing. So us women, and that's okay. I don't think it's superficial or shallow, or we want to please our husbands, and not, like you say, not that they weren't, but we just feel better with that. So that's awesome. And it obviously kept you through.
Yeah, yeah, it did. And just seeing how excited he would get, he would call me and say, how was your loss this morning? And, he was just a big part of it. So,
That's nice to hear. That is really, really nice to hear. And I'm sure that's going to resonate with a lot of women because, we have had some women that don't want their husbands to know. And we actually won't take them on as a client just because, you know, um, two or more have to agree and walk together in unity. And in unity, there's power. And also, like you were saying, the biggest thing is, then there's another issue in itself. But it's more, we need I needed my husband, the same thing. Oh my gosh, he was a support and encouragement. He made me meals. He had things ready, just, you can
yeah,
do this, babe, when I didn't think I could, so they will come alongside you and be one of your biggest cheerleaders, that's for sure. So,
yeah.
Millicent, share with us a little bit about your journey to freedom and what did that look like for you? I mean, you shared a little bit of it so far, but I'm sure there's been a lot of transformations that you've gone throughout your whole journey, as far as like how much weight did you lose? I mean, that's just part of it, but more about the journey.
And I always tell everyone I lost about 52 pounds in 3.5 months, just a little over 3.5 months. And I always say I could have done it sooner. I could have done it faster, but I had to learn the hard way a couple of. And so I did. I lost around 52 pounds in 37.5 inches.
Wow.
And I think my first month I lost 17 pounds, and I think it was all from my face. So that was, that was a big difference for me in the beginning. But yeah, that's 3.5 months is what it took me to reach goal.
Wow, that's awesome. Awesome. And what ways do you feel that your life has changed now as a result of your new lifestyle?
Well, number one, I have more energy. I realized that, yeah, I have sleep apnea, and I still struggle with that. But I just have so much more energy. I don't drag through my days. My daughter last summer, after I had reached my goal, she couldn't believe I was in the yard doing cartwheels and flips with her, the stuff I
Uh-huh.
used to do. And she thought it was
Right.
just so much fun. And she was like, I didn't know you could even do this stuff. And well, I couldn't before. So,
Yeah.
and just being more active and being able to get dressed up to go somewhere with my husband, go on a date, and just feel good about myself and know that, he was never embarrassed to be with me, but just to know that I didn't have to be embarrassed for him anymore. And so being able to do that sort of thing and just feeling good. My blood pressure, I came off of my medicines. My health has just been so much better. I feel better now than I can ever remember feeling. With not filling my body with, the processed foods and the chemicals and just the sugar and that sort of thing. I realized what it was doing to me for so long.
Right.
And so I feel so much better.
That's great. How has it changed, or has it changed anything even within the family dynamics?
Mhm. Yeah, we already had some things that we avoided in our family, but it's definitely it plays over into the rest of the family. We eat overall just a lot more fresh, and I cook from scratch a lot more. My
Mm-hmm.
kids are, even at their ages now, are so much more aware of why we're eating the way that we are. And we still go out for treats and we still have things
Mm-hmm.
that we aren't that great, but it's not every day. Uh,
Right.
and so it's just, I think overall, the whole family is just so much healthier.
That's awesome. And for those of you who don't know, Millicent is she actually writes our recipe blogs that you see. Her name is on the bottom of it, but just in case you don't know or haven't seen them yet, she writes that. So, Yeah, she does that, and some of you share them with her, and then she comes up with creative things and cooks them and takes yummy pictures, and then we all get to enjoy them. So that's a nice perk too to have all around.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely doing that. Millicent, what would you say to somebody who's listening today, um, that might be on the fence of joining the lifestyle or just even contemplating making a lifestyle change? I mean, I think there's so many women out there that are just afraid to to know, will this really work for me? They're skeptical. They see it, they hear it, they've read the blogs, maybe, they've seen the before and after pictures, but they have such doubt in their mind that maybe, is this really true for me? What would you say to them?
Well, um, I could say a lot of things, I guess. I will say that, change is not easy. Even when it's positive change, it can be hard. And I felt myself, in fact, I felt myself just that whole the thought process of you can't do this. Why do you think you can do this? You failed before, you're going to fail again, and that was just the enemy just working to get me to quit. And I had not even started, and about a week before I was supposed to start, I tried to quit. And I remember that, and I couldn't. I had to at least do my first month. And so I thought, okay, fine, I'll try it. And I went into it with that whole, you're probably not going to be able to do this. In my mind, that's what I thought. But coming into this program and learning that, of course, I couldn't do it, not by myself. And that was where I had failed so many times before, was doing it on my own. And I never made this a spiritual journey. I never realized it was a spiritual battle. Um, Bringing Jesus into the mix and praying for the strength to get through every day. Um, Going to the Word for, for the strength and for just to sit down and figure out what was really going on. I
Right,
had to make that, part of it. And then, of course, having a coach, having someone who was there to encourage me, someone to hold me accountable, someone who could answer my questions without me having to try to figure things out on my own. Coming into a group of women who I knew were doing the same, they were right there where I was. They were experiencing the same exact things I was. Just that support and the friendships and coming together every week and just sharing our hearts with each other and encouraging. I mean, it just was so life changing. And that, I think, there's so many aspects to this program that make it so unique. But those are the things that just really, I think, really got me through. And, it's not easy. It's one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life was go through the program, but it was probably one of the top most rewarding things that I've ever done in my life. And so when I got to the end, it just was a big celebration. It feels so good. And the confidence I had knowing that I got through that time,
right.
just, it just was amazing.
That's awesome. So you just tell them to get out and do it, not to wait, right?
Don't expect it to be easy. It's not going to
Right,
be. If it was easy, we wouldn't be in this position. You wouldn't need the program if it was easy. And
right.
that it's worth it. It is worth it.
Well, thanks. I find that so true. I might have told you, I don't remember if I did your consult or not. But I used to say all the time, this is one of the easiest and the hardest things you're ever going to have to do. And they're like, what? You know, it's not hard to follow the protocol and the rules, but um, I mean, yes, that's easy to follow the protocol, and so on, because you can read it and the end result will be just the science of it. But it's all that other stuff that we deal with that's hard. How do we conquer that? How do we battle that once and for all? How do we change our behavior so that when we're, completed and we're there, that we're not going backwards this time? What makes this different? What would you say, Millicent, that what makes Grace and Strength different from anything else you've ever done? The reason you've been able to keep your
Like I
weight
said,
off?
yeah, well, like I said, just, the coaching, having someone there who I knew cared and to encourage me and hold me accountable, the teaching, making it a spiritual battle.
Hmm.
And a lot of the hard part came from those times that I really had to dig deep and face a lot of things that I had been, um, stuffing with food, a lot of emotions, a lot of things that I had been, I had been self-medicating with food. And so that was a lot of the hard part. But, the spiritual accountability, the spiritual teaching, the friendships, the group setting, and then the teaching, I learned so much. I think when you've been filling your body with unhealthy foods for so long, and then you do something like this that is so clean, the eating, and you see how good you feel, you
Hmm.
want to learn more. You want,
Hmm.
it just stirs something in you that you want to know more about healthy living and clean eating. And, um, so I think that's one of the great things too.
Awesome. And I know obviously you're coaching with us now, so you have kept your weight off for quite a long time. So now you're alumni plus a coach. Um, but tell us a little bit about like what are the best practices that you do now on a daily basis that are helping you maintain your new healthy lifestyle?
Well, okay, so, of course, water. I never was a good water drinker. I would have some water here and there, but not much. I drink water a lot. I find myself just craving water. Um, you know, exercising, just as much as anybody else, I'm not a fan of exercising. I don't like it. But doing it, I had to make myself get out there and do it. And when I do, I just feel so good. And of course, just the healthier choices, just the clean eating. Figuring out ways to take some of our old favorites as a family or some of my old favorite foods and making them healthy, making them from
Right,
scratch, changing the ingredients, doing something. And so just that. And then as well as continuing to, I don't want to say battle, but staying one step ahead of the enemy, to stay one
right,
step
right.
ahead of temptation. I recently told my girls, I call them my girls. I hope nobody gets offended with that.
That's
But
okay.
in
You're my
group,
girl, so.
so I recently said in group one night, not long ago, is that you will get to goal and you will have an amazing freedom, but that it doesn't end there. You have to continue staying one step ahead of the enemy. You have to continue going to the word. You have to continue working through a lot of the emotions that you're going to continue to feel. It's not like you reach goal and magically you're free from everything. You still have to put work into it. And so by doing that, weekly preparing, doing the lessons, I feel when I do my lessons in group, it's just as much for me as anyone else. Like it really encourages me. And so continuing to read different books on, food struggles and temptations and, continuing in my devotions and really just continuing to work daily through all of the emotions and the feelings and the temptations when I would feel myself going toward food. I have finally reached a point um, where it just all of a sudden I realized I no longer look forward to eating. I don't sit around and think about what do I get to eat next? When is my next meal? Food has taken a back seat. Oh, I eat when I'm supposed to, and I still like
Right.
food. I do like it, but it's not at the forefront. It's not my focus anymore. It's not. It's just not what I think about. I don't think about, okay, let's see, can I eat this today? I finally feel 100% free from that. And I also know that if I let my guard down and I don't continue in my devotions and I don't continue working to stay where I am, then it could come back and become forefront in everything I do. And so, um, yeah, that was a lot, I'm sure. You didn't ask for all of that.
No, hey, this is all about you and your heart, and that no, that's great. I mean, it's
Yeah.
absolutely great. And I think when you said a battle, it's okay to say that too, because we do fight the good fight of faith, and that's part of it. The enemies of who rules this earth, and so part of it. And so, he's always going to tempt us. And now that you're coaching and setting other women free, that God's using you to be a vessel. Um, you know, where's he going to attack you? But in that area,
Mm-hmm.
with that and with our temptations to go back so that you getting condemnation, you don't feel free anymore, and therefore you won't help more women to get free because he doesn't want that. He doesn't want to know, want them to know more about Jesus and then be saved. And by the way, I want to just brag on you. Can I? I guess I can. Yeah, I
No.
can. Yeah, I can. No, but it's just sweet. What we were just saying, it just brought that to mind because Millicent did coach um, a client that wasn't saved and really didn't hesitated joining Grace and Strength because of the religious thing. And of course, we don't do that. We meet them where they're at, but still, she did join because of the results that she had seen and so far. And I mean, just not just a transformation in her, but she got saved recently, water baptized, and her whole family. So that's just, I mean, I have chills saying that because that's just the power of God. I mean, that is, why would the enemy come against us? Because he doesn't want that to happen. So,
Mhm.
so for women, for them going forward too, not just even if they're not a coach for themselves, they're the steward. Most women are who buys the food, who prepares the meals, he can get against the mom that's making those decisions. He therefore hinders the whole family. So, no, I think you were good. And I just added a whole pile too. So we're all good for talking lots. What's different, right?
Right.
um, well, let's talk about coaching because actually, let's talk about the alumni real quick because you are alumni, obviously, and we're so excited to, start our new alumni group, which is really, our clients who have graduated and now are kind of like what, like you were saying, that support with your coach and your team and, these women that you've been doing life with and walking alongside, and all of a sudden they're gone and it ends. And of course, even life afterwards, there's still so much, like you're saying, to go deeper and learning more about nutrition and doing different things and how does it affect me now as a woman. That's really what our group is all about. And we're real excited. We're going to have our live online launch party. I think it's a Monday night, September 9th at 7:30 Central, I believe. It's on the website though. And that's going to be like fun, fun, fun. I mean, we're really, really excited to be launching that. So, Millicent, for clients who are graduating now, just getting close to that, or alumni that might be watching this that, hey, I didn't even know about that, what would you say to them, as they're beginning to walk out their new journeys, and their new selves?
Well, I guess kind of going back to what I had said that me now, I'm still growing, I'm still learning, and once you reach goal, and even when you graduate the program, you still have to continue working. And to staying a step ahead of the enemy. And so I feel like the alumni group is going to be a great tool for that. It's going to help to keep these women motivated to focus on their health and their lifestyle. And it's going to be a great encouragement to still have that group to look forward to. I think once a month,
Once a month, we'll have a live session, and we're going to have guest speakers coming in, but we'll have more group calls to that. They'll have their own wall, the private wall
Mhm.
that our other groups all have. That is just all the alumni will be together on there, so they can chat and share recipes, and encourage each other, and pray and whatever. And then we will have group calls as well. The once a month is actually, the other calls are live too, but this one will be like a special one once a month where there's kind of a teaching, just fun for us women, whether that be on exercise, whether it be on how, nutrition, whether it be we bring somebody in that, is a marriage counselor. I mean, just stuff that women that we want. So we're looking forward to that. Yeah.
I think it'll be a great tool. I think because you do have to continue focusing just a little bit. It doesn't
Mhm.
have to be because when you're on the program, it's a main focus. It is, and so I think you still have to remember that um, you can't let your guard down. You have to continue working, and so I think that's going to be a great way to encourage that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're excited. Well, speaking about you being a coach, um, tell us why you decided to be a Grace and Strength coach and what it means to you to be a coach with
Goodness.
us.
Okay. Um, well,
Mhm.
I don't, I love people. I love to talk. I love, I've always, I just love encouraging people. I think find so much encouragement in for myself in doing that. And I felt so good. And when I had reached my goal, and I just wanted to shout from the rooftops and tell everyone about this. And you had mentioned the possibility of coaching, and I was like, really? Okay. Never thought about it that much, but hey, okay, and prayed about it and talked to my husband, and I just felt like, yep, this is what I should do. I really should. I don't know everything, and had a lot of growing to do whenever it was time to, start coaching. But I just felt like it was what I should do. It was the next step. And I just love it. I love the time I get to spend with these women. I love the relationships. I thrive on that sort of thing. I think I'm a very social person. Um, I just love I don't know, I just love so much about it. I just love, like, I feel like I celebrate every little milestone with them. I get so excited. I love the encouragement. I love the teaching. I love to, I'm constantly learning new things when it comes to clean eating and health. And I love to just share that information. And so
Right.
it's been just the relationships that I have made. It's just been very rewarding.
Awesome. I totally agree with you. And like when I'm coaching, I really feel like they think that we're a blessing by their coach, but I feel like we're blessed more by
Yeah.
what we receive from them, their hearts and their commitments. And when we know they're going through something so tough, and they're pressing through,
Yeah.
it's so inspiring for us because we're coaches and we have hard days too. And then it just right at the right time, they've just conquered something and picks us up. We're like, thank you. I needed that today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's been, yeah. I mean, they bless me so much. And so I just love it. I do love it so much.
Awesome. Yay. I know God's called definitely to that. I mean, you to this. I mean, none of us are here, we're here because we're led to, because that's what's in our heart to serve these women. What do you think? Maybe share one experience that you've been as a coach, like that is a coach, being a coach provided you that you didn't expect. Something you
Hmm.
never expected. What do you get out of being a coach that you never thought of or never thought that would happen?
Oh my goodness. Well, like you mentioned, I don't think I've ever actively or at least knowingly played a part in someone coming to Christ. I've never, I just, it's not something that I've ever had really happen. And on the night that my dear friend now shared with the group, I had no idea that she was not a believer. And when she shared with the group, I just was blown away. I thought, wow, really? Like the little bit that I've done here made an influence, and it wasn't just me. I know that the other girls in the group,
Right.
it's just to be a part of something like that, to be a part of it was amazing. And, and the friendships, I guess I didn't expect to be making that, close friendships with some of these, with most of the girls I coach. I see us, once they're done with the program, we're still keeping in touch. And it's just, I don't know. And I guess I just never expected to be as encouraged myself and as blessed by the things that they say and do.
Awesome. Totally agree. I totally, totally agree. I think that, that girl coming to Christ, I mean, still, and we've had more. I had one like that years ago too, that I had no idea because I just, we talk our Christianese or whatever you call it, and didn't know until later. But what's so rewarding is that's eternal reward, that I mean, you can't buy that. And so it's such an honor to know that God chose you
Hmm.
to speak to her and
Hmm.
now her and her family, to be in heaven. I mean, it's wild. It's actually
And
wild.
it's really fun because we did not know each other. And she just got assigned to me to be her coach. And turns out she lives maybe 30 minutes away from me. And
Wow.
So we get to see each other on Sundays now. We go to church together, and that just I thought was really cool.
Yeah. Talk
Definitely,
about a divine appointment, huh?
yeah, it's definitely a God thing. Like all of it, it just was so cool.
Wow. Um, well, I mean, as we are, I can't say expanding, but getting, more and more inquiries every day from what we're doing, because there's people or women too all over the world that are hurting, that were in the place that we were. They're broken, they're looking for hope and so on. And to be able to carry out the vision that God has for this ministry, we definitely are going to need more coaches because we all can't be, have as many that need to be helped. That's for sure. And so with that, we have our new certification. Um, oh boy, Jeremy's going to have to edit this. We have, I got to take I'll pause for just a second. Um, and so with that, we have our new Certified Grace and Strength Lifestyle Coaching certification, so that we can equip more women who want to be coaches. We do get requests almost every day from somebody wanting to be a coach. And so this way, by being able to do this, we can definitely help a lot more women out there and get them set free too. So what would you say to anyone that's out there that is considering to be a Grace and Strength coach?
Definitely, you pray about it. You really, just really pray about it. And it definitely takes time, and but it's very rewarding. It not only do you help others, but it helps to hold you accountable as well. I know I've had the accountability to make sure that I was continuing to grow, and not that I would ever not want to continue following this lifestyle, as great as I feel, but it just keeps me focused so much more, and I just think it's just very rewarding. It's a great opportunity. I've learned a lot. Like I said, I continue to learn new things, and so just that right there is great. I think it's been a blessing, and definitely pray about it and just see where God leads you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Well, thank you, Millicent, so much for taking your time and being with us and sharing from your heart. You're awesome. I love you. You're an amazing coach and
I,
friend. Like you say, we all got
yeah,
friendships now
I
too.
know we're like a
Yeah,
family.
we are. We get together on all our other meetings and our crews and fun stuff. So,
Yeah,
for all you listeners out there, if something Millicent said resonated with your heart, and you just know that the Holy Spirit's speaking to you, today is your day. It's time that you don't want to live this life anymore. You want change. And definitely go ahead and contact us on our website, which is www. Nope, not sentiments, graceandstrengthlifestyle.com, and make sure you use the promo code Millicent, and that is Millicent, right?
yeah. We should
Yeah.
just we should shorten it, Millie.
Yeah, we should put Millie. Well, maybe, yeah. We'll see. Maybe try Millie or Millicent. If you do either one, we'll know who it is, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yes, Millicent would love to be your coach, and you guys would just be blessed by having her. So again, Millicent, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
on.
Thanks.
Talk to you soon, sweetie, okay? Bye.